my God, Ghetto Jasmine Crockett is at it again. The clown show continues, and now she's made a complete fool of herself, worse than ever before. But first, let's enjoy again how she got destroyed last week in this classic CNN interview where she gets her face cracked like you've never seen before.
What he's been trying to do. He's been trying to do Trump's bidding. He has not been acting like anyone's attorney general. And we know that when it comes down to whether you're the deputy or whether you are, say, Pam Bondi, the actual AG, you were supposed to be the people's attorney, but she has decided that she wants to neglect the people and do whatever it is that Trump wants her to do along with Todd Blanche. So here it is. He's like, well, I didn't have all the information. Well, sir, did you try to get the rest of the information? Do we know for sure that the Department of Justice didn't have this information? And if they didn't have this information, do we know whether or not they actually deleted this information? Do we know that there was a thorough investigation? Do we know whether or not the investigation had concluded? These are all questions that we need answers to, but we can't get them when you're not cooperating. So we don't know what the DOJ has, nor what it is that the DOJ potentially was trying to do. Considering that the president right now is trying to obstruct on some very basics of let's just get a subpoena that says release all the information, I wouldn't be surprised, just like he obstructed the prosecution of one of his henchmen who took $50,000 in taxpayer dollars from undercover officers. I wouldn't be surprised if he sent a message and said, stop investigating, we're done with this, Epstein's dead, I don't want to hear anything else about it.
Do you have any evidence of that claim?
I have no idea, no.
Okay, so that never gets old. Like and subscribe right now so we can get this video pushed out to the masses. Smack the button right now. Okay, let's get to the good stuff. So Jasmine Crockett got caught up in a trap that she set for herself again surrounding all of this Jeffrey Epstein mess. Now, she claims that this has nothing to do with politics, of course, but that's going to come back to bite her in the butt in the worst possible way.
So you're saying, yeah, you don't care even if it does embarrass Democrats.
I don't care. That's not what this is about. To me, it's not political. We need to make sure that we understand how it was that this was able to take place, and we need to make sure that we tear down those structures. We have an obligation as legislators to make sure that we do better by the people in this country. We need to make sure that there are no other children that end up in similar circumstances, whether Jeffrey Epstein is alive or dead. We need to make sure, because it wasn't just one man. This was a system, a sophisticated system that was set up. And so we need to make sure that there are no other victims going forward.
Oh, she's so sincere. I mean, she just wants to make sure that there aren't any more victims in the future. And she just wants to take down this sophisticated system. Well, what she doesn't know is that Caitlin Collins is setting her up for the ultimate face crack moment when she exposes Jasmine for what could be one of the most embarrassing moments of her entire career, when she puts a spotlight on her stupidity. So let's watch.
One Democrat who's been on defense over Jeffrey Epstein is Stacey Plaskett. She represents the Virgin Islands. She was texting with Jeffrey Epstein the day of Michael Cohen's hearing. Her questions pretty closely followed the text messages between the two of them to ask about Rona Graff, Trump's longtime assistant. You were defending her today, or in recent days, yesterday, and you talked about Republicans taking money from a Jeffrey Epstein. Here's what you said.
Who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly. Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio.
You mentioned Lee Zeldin there. He's now a cabinet secretary. He responded and said it was actually Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who's a doctor that doesn't have any relation to the convicted sex trafficker. Unfortunate for that doctor, but that is who donated to a prior campaign of his. Do you want to correct the record on the people that
Listen, I never said that it was that Jeffrey Epstein. Just so that people understand, when you make a donation, your picture is not there. And because they decided to spring this on us in real time, I wanted the Republicans to think about what could potentially happen, because I knew that they didn't even try to go through the FEC. So my team, what they did is they Googled. And that is specifically why I said a Jeffrey Epstein. Unlike Republicans, I at least don't go out and just tell lies.
What could potentially happen? Are you serious? You don't just go out and tell lies? Well, that's exactly what you just did. Well, okay, she didn't realize she was lying at the time, but I guess that's the consequences of searching Google for dirt when you're put on the spot trying to win the game of clowning the other political party. That didn't work out too well for her now, did it? But it gets better. It gets better. Instead of just admitting that she was wrong, she doubles down and starts making these lame excuses.
Now, have I dug in to find out who this doctor is? I have not. So I will trust and take what he says is that it wasn't that Jeffrey Epstein, but I was not attempting to mislead anybody. I literally had maybe 20 minutes before I had to do that debate.
Holy cow. So what she did, she tried to jump on Google to find out who Jeffrey Epstein donated money to on the Republican side. But she didn't plan on the possibility that there might be another person with the same name. So it turns out this guy is Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, not the guy that's the convicted bicycle pedal and all that good stuff. You would think she would just quit while you're ahead, right? But no, she's going to dig her hole deeper. Wait till you hear the next excuse.
You should have done the homework to make sure it wasn't the convicted sex trafficker.
Within 20 minutes, you could not find that out, not from just doing a quick search on FEC. So number one, I made sure that I was clear that it was a Jeffrey Epstein, but I never said that it was specifically that Jeffrey Epstein.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Jasmine, you should have done your homework instead of a quick Google search. And now your new excuse is that you never said it was Jeffrey Epstein, but a Jeffrey Epstein? Oh, gee whiz. Oh, my God. Well, now, do you think that she's ready to quit at this point? Nope. She's just going to start making up bald-faced lies to cover up her moment of complete stupidity.
Was very cozy with the president. He had more information, registered sex offender or not. The bigger question is, why is it that the president was so cozy with a registered sex offender even after he ultimately ended up with some of his convictions? And seemingly, he had absolutely been on the plane with him. We know about the birthday card. The bigger question is, why is the president of the United States not the one that is in the hot seat for his relationship, instead of us saying, oh, you know what, we're going to take her off of her committee because he decided to text her. Stacey didn't initiate that chain. Jeffrey initiated that chain, and she took the information.
She really likes to use the word cozy, doesn't she? Yeah, so she just reverts to all-out lies. The birthday card thing, well, that's already been completely debunked. And then she goes to the false claim that Jeffrey initiated the text conversation, not Stacey Plaskett. That's a lie, and we already know the truth about Stacey and Jeffrey and how she was obviously trying to protect her fellow Democrat constituent. So as the excuses and the lies completely fall flat on their face and getting her out of this horrible hot seat of a situation, well, she switches up and goes after the classic age-old overused line that every Trump deranged leftist uses when they're losing an argument, and you already know what it is.
At that time.
But he had been in jail already.
He had been
got a
in
plea
jail.
deal.
And my deal is this. The Republicans are constantly texting with a 34-count convicted felon. So if it's okay for them to text him at any point in time, then I'm not going to say that that's right or wrong, especially to the extent that you're talking about kicking someone off their committee. Were they sexting? Was it a matter of her being involved in the pedophilia? No, it was nothing like that. She was trying to understand.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
You serious?
Oh, good God. Not the 37-time convicted felon argument. I just want to pound my head on a concrete floor every time I hear a Trump deranged leftist bring up the 37-time convicted felon. Hey, do you want me to do a video on that for all the dumb people out there that really think that the 37-time convicted felon is a thing? You'd probably be shocked if you knew what that's really all about and how stupid that whole statement is, and thinking that using that does any good. It actually does more harm than good. That's another topic for another day. Let's get to the end of this where Caitlin Collins just completely shuts her down, corrects her, and then changes the subject. Watch this.
that the president got down and did these things. Do you think that it would be inappropriate for her to ask about those things if he said he had personal knowledge?
I think
it's
the
important.
context matters, but obviously it seemed like he was helping her. But I do want to ask you.
I think that context matters, and it was obvious that he was helping her. Holy smokes. And then she changed the subject. Good Lord. Jasmine, there's no recovering from this. And you know, one thing that I was wondering, why wasn't she using her fake ghetto accent through this whole thing?
Maybe because these people, they are crazy because they always talk about how Christian they is. Yeah, I don't know how many of them on that side are getting divorced because they getting caught up sleeping with their co-workers, staffers, interns, all the things.
Kind of surprising that she was talking halfway intelligent, which I think she obviously is intelligent, but then she throws on that hood rat accent whenever it's convenient when she's trying to gain popularity. But what are your thoughts? Do you think Jasmine Crockett is actually intelligent, or do you think she is, like what Trump says, a low IQ individual? And what do you think of this whole stunt that she tried to pull off the cuff, trying to clown the Republicans, looking up the information from the wrong Jeffrey Epstein? Let me know. Sound off in the comments right now. Like, comment, subscribe, tick the notification bell, because this is definitely gonna continue on. We'll see you on the next one. This is Carlton, and I am out.